Hello, friends. Now let's look at a problem where we're going to work on rounding numbers. Select all of the numbers that have a value of 29 and 5/10 when rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we're rounding to the nearest tenth, so let's mark that number in each one of the numbers. Let's mark that 10th place. Okay, so we're looking at that 10th place. That's the number we're rounding. We look at its neighbor to the right. If it's 5 or more, we round it up. If it's less than 5, we round it down. Remember, when we first learned about rounding, we talked about how we're actually rounding it to the number that it's closer to. That's why we say if it's 5 or more, round it up because it's closer to that higher number. If it's less than 5, round it down. It's closer to the lower number. All right, so let's look at this. So we have 5/10 in our first one. Look at its neighbor to the right. That's 2/100. That's going to be closer to 5/10 than 6/10. So we're going to round that down to 29 and 5/10. That's the magic number we're looking for in our problem. So we're going to circle that. That's one of our choices. All right, we have 29 and 484 thousandths. Okay, we're looking at 4/10. We're looking at the neighbor to the right. We have 8/100. That's more than 5. That's going to be closer to the higher number. So that one's going to round up to 29 and 5/10. That's another correct choice. Next, we're looking at 5/10 here. If we look at that neighbor to the right, it's 5/100. That's going to tell us to round up. So this one is going to round up to 29 and 6/10. Not one of our answers. Let's look at this next one. We have 4/10. Its neighbor to the right is 2. That's going to round down because it's closer to 29 and 4/10. So that won't be one of our answers. Finally, 29 and 508 thousandths. We're looking at that 5/10. Looking at the number to the right is 0. So if we go on out to the 8, that's 8 thousandths. This number is definitely closer to 29 and 5/10 than 29 and 6/10. Also, again, that 0 tells us it's less than 5, so we round it down. All right, my friends, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you'll come back again and we can work some more together. I'll see you soon.